Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate RingsideNews.com. Got your questions here regarding the WWE Network, Vince Russo and TNA, Triple H, and much more. So let's get started here with the first one today from Joey Jojo. What is your take on WWE's latest network subscriber count? For those of you that don't know, WWE just announced their latest earnings report, and part of that was also revealing the latest network count since June 30th, which is 700,000 subscribers. They had 161 gross subscribers added, but then they lost 128,000, giving them a net total of 33,000 that they gained. Not a great number. Definitely a big disappointment from WWE, but I can't really say I'm surprised. As I've talked about in previous videos, I really felt that the number that they had right after WrestleMania was pretty much all they were going to get domestically in the United States. I figured that everybody that wanted to get the WWE Network in the United States was going to do so for WrestleMania 30, and I didn't think there was going to be much of an increase. So yeah. On that hand, it's not very good news, but there are some things to be optimistic about. They are going to be rolling out the network internationally very soon now, starting in August, right before SummerSlam. 170 countries will have the WWE Network. It'll be in the UK in October, and they're really getting the ball rolling with the international numbers because they're still trying to reach that goal of 1 million subscribers total by the end of the year. So I think I think they'll do good internationally, and I still think there's a decent chance they'll hit 1 million by the end of the year. And in terms of other areas of business, they're doing fine. So it's not all doom and gloom. And as I've talked about before, I feel the WWE Network is an excellent service, and I think it will work out for WWE in the end. But there's going to be losses at first, and there's going to be tweaking that will need to be done. But I think in the end, this will be successful for them. So it's definitely too soon to panic and think about canceling the network. I mean, that's not necessary at all. It's just a work in progress. So I think people should try to remain optimistic about it. All right, this one comes from Kyle Mitchell 84. And by the way, you can check out all the stats and financial figures at NoDQ.com. But moving on here from Kyle Mitchell 84. Hey Aaron, with your site reporting that Triple H is being advertised for Hell in a Cell, do you think that this could be one of his final matches? Personally, I'd love to see the title on him one last time, and I'm hoping his final match is at WrestleMania. Please answer in video. Well, here's the thing. I don't really see any kind of official retirement for Triple H. I think that he will wrestle every now and then when there's a good reason for him to come and wrestle. I think that if the right opportunity comes along, that he'll get back in the ring for a big match. It just depends on the right opponent, the right storyline, and all that stuff. But I just don't see him coming out and having one official final match. I think that he'll continue to wrestle every now and then for several years. I mean, I think his body will be able to hold out if he just comes back every now and then for a big match. So, I don't see him having his final match anytime soon. I could see him wrestling for another 5 or 6 years at least, maybe even longer than that. All right, this one comes from TNT26X. Hey Aaron, is Vince Russo to blame for TNA being canceled by Spike? Please answer in video, and congrats on 500 episodes. Well, I don't think that Vince Russo did TNA any favors. Basically, Spike TV felt that they were not happy with Vince Russo being involved with TNA, and they were led to believe that he was gone. But then he had accidentally sent an email to someone from PW Insider, and it basically revealed that he was still working for them. So Spike TV was definitely not happy about that, but I don't think that was the make or break for the deal. I think that it didn't help matters, but at the same time, as I talked about a few days ago with Spike TV, they feel that they can get less money on a renewal, and I think that's one of the big issues here with TNA is they're trying to get the same offer that they had before and the same amount of money, and Spike TV just doesn't want to pay that money. I think that's the main issue. But I don't think that it's time to say that it's over for TNA yet. I mean, they could still work things out with Spike TV, and as Dixie Carter mentioned, they're still in negotiations. So, it's still possible that they could work out a deal, but it's certainly not looking good for TNA. And, somebody else asked me if Vince Russo is, responsible for the demise of TNA. I mean, I wouldn't say so. I mean, you look back in 2009 when they were at their peak, not just in television ratings, but live attendance. They were doing 4,000 or 5,000 people for every big show, which was good numbers for them. TNA was doing fairly well in 2009, and Vince Russo was the creative head at the time. So, it wasn't until Hogan and Bischoff came in that things really started to go downhill. So, but if TNA, if Spike TV isn't happy with Vince Russo, they need to come up front and be honest with Spike. And now apparently Russo is gone from TNA again, but we'll see how long that lasts. So who knows? And this one comes from Wraith Wolf 007. With Vince Russo being released by TNA, does this help with TV negotiations with Spike or another network? I think with Spike, now that he's not involved anymore, maybe that'll help a little bit. But once again, I think Spike TV wants to pay less for TNA programming, and TNA wants as close to what they were getting before. And the bottom line is TNA needs television. In my opinion, they need that to be able to stay in business at the level that they're at right now. So hopefully something is able to work out with TNA, whether it's with Spike TV or another network. TNA, and it's unfortunate too because they're just starting to maybe turn a little bit of a corner here. The shows have been better as of late. But like I said, Vince Russo to me isn't really make or break for TNA. I personally enjoy some of the Vince Russo stuff. Like I said, 2009, I enjoyed the Main Event Mafia to a degree, and his shows were at least entertaining. Sometimes they were train wrecks, but I think that they probably need somebody else. They need somebody new in TNA Creative, and then I really feel that that's been a major issue with TNA. With Vince Russo, he was just doing the stuff that he was doing before. When Hogan and Bischoff came in, they were doing the stuff that they were doing before. And you really need some fresh blood in there. You need somebody who has, a vision and has some new ideas. That's really what TNA needs. They need to go in a new direction and do stuff that they haven't done before and break new ground, experiment, try different things. That's really what I feel that they need to do, not resorting to the past over and over and over again. All right, this one comes from Jai Joaba. What do you think the chances are that Brock Lesnar dismantles Cena and then gets DQ'd by beating him with a chair or something like that? Then Rollins cashes in to win the title so they continue Lesnar-Cena without the chance of a Lesnar 8-month title reign. I've talked about this before, a possible screw job finish at SummerSlam, doing something to have Lesnar dominate but not actually win the title. They could do something like that, but I really don't feel that that is a wise decision, especially now with this whole network situation. And, they don't want to piss off fans any more than the fans are already upset, coming off Battleground. WWE really needs to deliver a strong show at SummerSlam, and I don't think a DQ finish in the main event for a match of this magnitude is a smart business move, in my opinion. I think that you need to have, Brock Lesnar is coming off the biggest win of his career. To me, the only finish you can do is Brock Lesnar beating John Cena clean in the middle. But if they want to somehow not try to work around the situation and not have Brock Lesnar as champion, since he's not going to be around all the time, then they could always do something like that, some sort of screwy finish. But I really feel that that would be a bad idea. They need to just go with Lesnar now. If he's a part-time champion, he's a part-time champion. My feeling is that it was too soon to put the title on him if he's only going to be around part-time. But at this point, I really feel he needs to beat Cena at SummerSlam and win the title and stay champion until WrestleMania. So if it means he's not going to be around, then so be it. All right, one more question here from Chris Mace 39628. Please answer in video. Should Bray Wyatt win his match with Chris Jericho at SummerSlam, or will we see a repeat of Battleground with Jericho winning? Once again, I feel that there's only one right finish to do here, and that's Bray Wyatt beating Chris Jericho clean at SummerSlam. The belief is that they're going to do 3 matches, the third one being at Night of Champions, and then Jericho will leave again. So yeah, I think that Bray Wyatt should win the the next two at this point. And, he should definitely win at SummerSlam because it's one of the big shows of the year. And, that's a show that people are going to remember. And they're not going to remember the Battleground match as much. They're not going to remember the Night of Champions match as much. The SummerSlam match people are going to remember. So Bray Wyatt, in my opinion, once again, should get a clean win here. And I guess they're doing a stipulation whether the Wyatt family members are going to be banned from ringside. I'd really like to see a clean win from Bray Wyatt. And then the third match, you can have the screw job or whatever. But, I really feel that would be the best way to go. Have Bray Wyatt beat Jericho clean at SummerSlam. Anything else would be a mistake in my opinion. All right, that'll wrap things up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Check out all the other videos I posted over the past week and a half. There's been a lot of them, so check them out. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the very latest regarding the network and SummerSlam as well, and TNA, of course. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time for more.